Hallo, agus fáilte go trí seascad den program ag BBC Alba a bhí a taispean ag na scéalach an ingantach ag críosail spórs na ban in Alba. Is me Iona Ballantyne agus am tóilite rag bhil Àrd-Oifigear Ball Coise an ban Alba Aileen Chaimbeul ar ascol rúms in stiùidio. Ha program tranga éile ac an Ghobhainn agus cluinnidh Aileen mhanaidsear is ùire an Ball Coise an ban in Alba. Ha trí seascad de Bruidhinnidh manager skip a Bhòcaidh Bhòcaidh, Mel Nic a Ghobhainn a sé géan stiùidio dèidh leaig agus cuiridh ar a ggéalteach. Agus cluinnidh sean gochtar skip a Bruidhinnidh, Jo Zakrzewski, the neach-farpaiseach and a racing ultramarathon. Aileen, welcome back to 360.
Hello, nice to be back.
Even though it was just over or just under half a year since you were last on, so much has happened in that time. Can you just tell us what you've been up to?
Yeah, it has been a very, very busy time in women's football, and I think that just illustrates just how fast-paced and quickly evolving the game is in Scotland as well. So there has been lots of change. There's also been the Euros, which has been a fantastic thing in the calendar to really put a visible focus on women's sport and women's football, and we've seen great enthusiasm and momentum arrive in our game as a result of that. So there's been lots going on, and there's also been, of course, the advent of the SPFL taking on the SWPL and the changes with the Scottish Cup. So lots of things going to move the game forward, lots of new things happening, and for us we've got our focus now on our top leagues, which are the Championship and League One, and making sure that we grow the grassroots of the game with all the girls that are playing football right across the country, ever more numbers of them as well. So lots of things for us to focus in on, and lots of work across the SWPL with the SFA just to make sure that we continue to work in partnership to grow the women's game here in Scotland.
Since the SWPL moved over to the SPFL, how much has that changed Scottish women's football? Have you got a whole new, well, you obviously must have a whole new focus now. Are there new things that you're kind of taking on too?
Yeah, so our top leagues will be the Championship and League One, just beneath that, and there is still, between the SWPL 2 and the Championship, promotion up and down. So there's still a link, and an important link, because it keeps that pyramid connected, and it shows that clubs that are starting out or wanting to have aspirations of getting to the very top leagues have a clear route through should they progress well in their league. So there's still a lot of close collaboration, working together, but there's also, we need to be mindful of the risks and the challenge. You know, there's been a really positive announcement of the Sky deal for the SWPL, and lots of much needed money and visibility, but we need to make sure that we work hard with SFA and the SPFL and the SWPL to make sure that the gap doesn't grow so much that there is a big gulf between our leagues and those top leagues as well. So I think that's something that we need to be mindful of as we grow the game collectively. So lots to think about, and about how we strategically focus our minds on solving some of those challenges, but nonetheless it's really positive that there is more potential viewers, more visibility, more money involved in the game, and that's a good thing. For us, we're focusing on our top leagues and the grassroots. We've got new sponsorship deals. We've got a deal now with BIFA, who are sponsoring our regional football, and with S1 Jobs, who have come on as a partner as well. So we're really pleased that we're still continuing to attract more interest commercially in our game as well. And that S1 Jobs partnership has been good because it's enabled us to allocate some resource to help grow another important part of the game, grow the numbers of our referees in Scotland as well. There's a bit of a shortage out there, and we want to try and attract more female referees into football, and that's what we've announced with the referees department at the SFA, some resource to bring on board new female referees into our game, which is an important pillar. If we don't grow that bit of the game, then games can't continue, can't happen. So we're pleased to be continuing to do our bit to grow holistically the game as well.
There's so much going on. I don't know how you keep on top of all of it, but even if we just look at the referees there, it's a fantastic partnership, a brilliant initiative. How has the interest been? Have you had quite a lot of women want to come on board?
Yeah, well, when we launched it, we had two female referees as well who talked about their experiences and how they've progressed, and how everyone has to start somewhere, and starting with grassroots games. But what they've done is they've become international fixtures, and one was down at the Euros, and so we've got a real pathway there. If people want to become involved in football and as a referee, then they can start in domestic games, but really depending on how much effort and willingness to travel, they can really rise through the ranks quite quickly. So it's really positive, but there are not many referees that are female referees in Scotland, so we want to do our bit to encourage women to think about becoming a referee, and what we'll do is help them and support them through that, and working with the referees department we hope that we'll be able to continue that engagement, to retain and support, mentor and keep them in the game so that we can grow the numbers, swell the numbers and make sure that girls who are playing the game now who might have a female referee officiate their game can maybe be inspired to become one in the future as well. So you know, the infrastructure around the women's game needs to also be supported, and that's why it's important that we take that leadership role and help do what we can with the resource that we have to grow that part, because if the referee's not there, you can't have a game of football. So It's really important.
And it's like we always say on this programme and say across women's sport, if you can't see it, you can't be it. Or if you can see it, you can be it. There's so many different ways to say it, but it's so true for that. It's fantastic to hear. There's so much going on. We will be hearing more from you so shortly. Well, after season son skipper Bhòcaidh Bhòcaidh leig agus cúpa na Gaeltach son chiad ùire. Bhraíonn sin se mhanaidsear Mel Nic Ghobhainn ha leicigí dreuchd sé in season a sarvachail riamh na neachtarí.
Ha skipper league Gaeltach Buckie Ladies bhí fast Bhòcaidh a dreuchd. Sa manager Mel Smith bhí cóiridh von Thoiseach.
We only started about 5-6 years ago, and we just started with a couple of us going to training, a couple of ladies, that was it. We went to the football park, we won football, and then it's just grown from then. We entered a league, we got beat, I must admit, 21 now, we got beat every other week. We lost every game, but we kept at it, we formed a team. We knocked on doors, we got some kit, we got some tracksuits, and we kept working hard and it progressed, and now 5-6 years later we've won a league and won a league cup, so it's been a great road, great achievement. It was kind of a baptism of fire because my late partner Paro, he was the manager and he passed away very suddenly, so when he passed away then I got involved, but to be honest I wanted to be maybe more assistant manager to start with because it's quite a big jump, maybe player manager, but I went straight into it. But no, it was good, it was baptism of fire, but I'm here.
Van jachen club steach ha Arvinson skipper bhí fast. Ayas ha program leasachaidhean láidirach ganis.
We started off 6-7 girls, ladies, kicking a football at the park, and now we're a fully fledged development with girls from age of 5 right up to ladies. We've got this facility, we've got a pathway for girls and women's football, and we've won a league and we've won the League Cup. So it's just massive leaps and bounds from where we started. So it's a great achievement. We're so fortunate, we've got the age of 5 right up to ladies, so we've got under 8s, under 10s, under 12s. I personally do the under 14s, and then next year we'll have under 16s with under 14s moving up. And then we've got the ladies, so we've got that pathway for girls in the local area, which is amazing. We've never had that before. So, and especially the success of the first team, the girls have been getting involved and coming to games, and they can see the success and they can aim for that, which is great as well. And we're really quite affordable as well. It's not expensive to come and play for us, and like we've got like the boot bank in there, and you can exchange boots or get boots because it's an expensive time at the moment. Get shin pads, get kits, we provide kits, so hopefully it's affordable as well, so we can attract as much as we can. But as long as girls and women are enjoying football, then I'm happy. That's what I'm doing it for.
Ba season jachtdriel like Buckie Ladies, leis gan de Bruidhinnidh an league agus a chuchber son a chiad dúir. Ba Mel riamhjun viach gan Bruidhinnidh skipper vid gan t-slighe.
Last year with COVID we only played half the year, so we only played everybody once, and I knew we were knocking on doors last year, we were getting close, we were close to finishing second, but again at the end with a couple of bad results, a lot of unlucky things that for me, it was silly goals that were lost. It was stuff that we can iron out really quickly. So I knew we were close and we're touching distance. So for me, I believed in my team and I knew we were close. So that last year was maybe going to be my last year because it's a lot of work, especially when you're working and things and your weekends away at football. But I knew we were close to it. I knew we were close to success. So I wanted to finish this year a full run, especially playing everybody twice. But I knew last year there was so much potential in the girls. I knew we were close and I believe in that girls all the way, and I think that's what you need to do as a manager as well. Get behind your players and know your players and believe in them. And I believed that there was something special last year when I saw it. And we never finished second, which was disappointing. But this year I said, let's do it and let's go for it, and we did. And I knew, you can see it training and you can see with the girls and why they come in the dressing room, they had that feel about them, and I knew there was something special. They're talented squad, such a great achievement for everybody, and it's not just players just now that's involved in the success of the club, it's past and present. Everybody that's been involved over the years working hard, and I'll be honest, it's been a roller coaster, there's a lot of ups and downs, and I'll be honest, blood, sweat and tears does go into this, to be honest. A lot of hard work, but it's not just me, I'm the manager, yes, but it's everybody around me that helps me get here. I've got a great number 2 in Laura as an assistant manager for me. I've got Catherine, she's my fitness coach. She takes all our fitness sessions, gets the girls up. So it's not just me that's here. It's not just my success, but no, it's been a long road. I've been 4 years as manager, so it's been a lot of hard work. But I'm honoured and privileged to be the manager of this team because they're a great team and great players, and it's hard to put into words, really, success. So it means a lot, not just to me, but to everybody here.
Rhaid Mel Nic suas yn dreuchd manager agol ag toisiach yn teisyn. Agus hair a dói glán go bhfuil facail an scipa an suíothach na sean na háisií.
I feel like managers have got a shelf life. I do feel like it's time to move on. It's time to get fresh eyes in, fresh blood in, and to end in a high. To be honest, regardless of what we won this year, I think it's time to get somebody else in, get new training, get new tactics. I think the girls will be getting fed up on me next year, the same training drills, same tactics on a Sunday, same ideas. And I think I've got a lot of respect from the girls, and I want to keep that. I don't want it to kind of drag on or get stale, so I wanted to leave on a high note, but to leave on a double, it's just, I've no words, to be honest. It's just so good. For us ladies, we've a great squad and we've got on so well, but I see that to my under 14, it's about coming together, and not everyone in life's going to like each other, but it's about working together, playing football, being a team at the end of the day as well, and I think that's life skills for them. That's something you kind of learn, really, and we're not their teacher or their parents, we're their coach, and they want to be here, so it's different, they've got a different respect for us. And we have some girls that maybe at school they misbehave, but here they respect us, they work hard. And I think as long as we've got something that girls can come as an outlet as well and have fun, is what it's all about, to be honest. If we can provide that, then that's what I'm here for.
I Highlands gan Buckie céimar fallaf na manager, bí Mel dúrin mar farst yn chub, agus hair ver an eichgin t-slighe sy'n hamri teach or sy'n skip a gaelach.
To be honest, I think I'll still be here. I'm chairperson as well for the development, and Laura said to me on Sunday, still got to be chairperson next year, and I was like, yeah. And I'm child wellbeing officer and things, so I'll still be here. I don't think I could walk away completely. Manager of the ladies, yes, but the girls I'll still keep coaching, because I love coaching. I'll still be involved and still be here. I'll probably be here once the baby's born. I'll just be here with the baby and in a pram. But no, I think when you're so passionate about something, then you're always going to be here, and my heart's always got to be in it, and I'll always probably come in. I'll probably be part of the fixtures and fittings, just with a baby. Well, I hope it can go really far. I hope it can keep achieving, keep developing, keep getting girls and women in, keep attracting new players. Like every week we want new players to come. Again, we're not exclusive. Just come. MD can join at any time, any ability. That's what we're here for as coaches, to help improve you, help coach you. And I'm really lucky that I'm leaving a club in such a great place. We've got a great committee, we've got a great facility here. This is our facility now, so we've got a base. And so the new manager coming in is coming into a really good setup. Everything's set up. So I'm leaving it in a really good place, but hopefully it can keep developing. Hopefully we can get more girls. Hopefully we can get more players. Hopefully we can keep expanding and keep providing football for girls and women in Buckie and the area, and hopefully win more medals. But it'd be hard to beat me, so I don't know. I'm joking. It'll maybe be difficult, but no, hopefully we can just keep improving and keep providing football for girls and women in this area, which is what we're here for.
Aileen, what a fantastic feature. Do you just love seeing teams like Buckie thrive?
Yeah, it is incredible. Mel's dedication, her commitment is so inspiring, and she really is the essence of women's football. Just somebody who is so committed, has numbers of different roles, that's doing it while she's pregnant as well, to try and make sure that she keeps the team going and coaching the youth team as well. I think it's really a positive story about how far women's football has gone. The fact that in such a short space of time they've got all those teams and squads right up to a senior squad who are also now winning leagues and winning cup competitions. It's just a brilliant story, and she's had her own personal tragedy that she's had to overcome as well, but it sounds like it's a new chapter for her going forward, and for the club, and for that team, that cup winning, league winning squad as well. So I hope they continue to do well.
And the thing is, you can feel how much Mel loves it. Yeah. She is fully immersed in this team, and actually people like Mel are crucial for teams, for sport around Scotland in all these different areas.
Oh no, absolutely. The fact that she's doing that voluntarily, and most of our teams and our leagues and everyone involved in women's football in the part of the game that we govern are volunteers. They're volunteers doing it over and above their work commitments, their family commitments, and that's the same of so many sports, like you say. And if it wasn't for volunteers, there wouldn't be the opportunities for women, for girls, for anybody to take up sport and to be active and to be healthy. So we have a great debt of, we have an enormous debt of gratitude to them, and so many children going through life with happy memories because of the volunteers that are involved in sport, and people like Mel, who is providing so much support to that squad of under 14s as well in Buckie. Those girls will grow up and always remember Mel, and that's a special thing, I think.
And it's also, as well, like Mel mentioned, even just the life skills that these girls pick up by going, the hard work, the dedication, the respect, and then just having fun. The other thing that I thought was actually interesting, which Mel was talking about, was the cost for the girls, how they've got the book bag, they've got the kit if the girls need it. I mean, another thing that I know that you're working on is with the cost of living on at the moment for some of the SWF, or is it for all SWF Championship and League One? Yeah, I think children can go for free.
Yeah, there's been a huge commitment to make sure our games are affordable, and so many of our,
I should say.
Our games are affordable and accessible. Our leagues are incredibly competitive, and clubs are really committed to that. They know their communities best, and they want to make sure that they can generate good crowds and good support and really embed themselves in their community. One of the clubs that's in our league, the Championship, Morton, for a while they were doing entry by donation to a food bank. So a real social moral consciousness there about the clubs and their activity, showing, I suppose, not just the benefits of football for the 90 minutes on the pitch, but the power and impact that football has beyond that, off the pitch. Societal benefits, community benefits, so many things that come from sport, and particularly football, that are really, really positive, and we're really proud that we're able to play our part in supporting those clubs. But Mel, again, talking about keeping it affordable, book banks and all those things, shows that they're not just focusing in on the performance on the pitch, they're really thinking and caring about the girls and the players in their club, and about how they make those opportunities be realisable to girls regardless of financial background, income. They're really trying to break down those barriers, and that's really important. And it's important for a sport like football that has its roots in our communities across the country, that they continue to remove some of the barriers, and that we work hard to do that. There are challenges, but people like Mel, clubs that are doing such great things, deserve to be celebrated.
And the other thing I noticed, actually, is obviously just part of their kit was their black shorts, and I know one of your SWF teams, Livingston, have recently just switched to black shorts, so that girls don't feel uncomfortable when they're on their period playing. It's such a simple thing, but means so much. So much,
it's I think all credit is due to Livingston for being, I think, probably one of the first in Scotland to be saying that they're taking this stance, because it is about normalising discussion around girls playing sport, menstruation, period dignity, making sure that those barriers are removed so that girls don't feel that they have to be put off playing sport because they have their period. And Livingston put in some focus and visibility around this issue is to be welcomed. At the start of the season, one of the things that we added into our criteria is that sanitary products should be available at the grounds of our clubs and the leagues. And we had actually been talking about, and we may well do this bit of engagement following Livingston's league, is thinking about how do we make that a much more standard approach to your kit to make sure that they're not white shorts where girls might still be suffering embarrassment if their period comes. And at that age as well, for some of the youngest players, when your period is irregular, you're just hitting puberty, you know, all those things about being anxious and being caught unawares with your period starting, these are a reality for girls playing sport. And that critical age of adolescence is when so many girls drop away from sport. So anything we can do to support girls, to make sure that they stay in sport, stick around in sport, continue those healthy, positive habits is to be welcomed. And Livingston for taking the stance is a tremendous news, I think.
It's such a fantastic thing. It's really, and it's, like I said before, it's so simple but so great to hear you're doing it. Thank you so much. Wel, fa Jo Zakrzewski na dochter réisian son skipa bhretain, mistochion de ghobhainn ultramarathon. Von nurshin, hire Alba agus bretain a riachachug ag Jiffer Aster, agus cynial datagul eich gyn y broken rei a churfwy behast.
Hoshi Jo Zakrzewski a machla team GB a Ghobhainn Dr. Reish. A chabata gandoloraki hain an line the toshachi a ruich mar ruichetar haraster.
When I first did that one, I hadn't got a clue what I was doing. It was a 6-day race across the desert in Chile. Everybody in my tent was talking about that they'd done this race and that race, and I was like, oh, I haven't at all. And now I think I've actually done a lot of the things that they'd mentioned, and I was just starstruck at the time. So officially anything longer than a marathon, so longer than 26 miles, 42k, counts as an ultra. The shortest ultra, I would say, is 50k, and you can go up continuous runs or you can do stage runs. So I've done a few that are multiple days and you carry your pack with you, you sleep overnight, you're self-sufficient apart from water. There are some that are just continuous and you choose when you get a rest, and there are some that are just continuous and you don't stop.
Chai Jo hug son rui son breithtin. Agus a stiùidio cuiridh raini hinchin suas rui son Alba. Rui son Alba ag na gemach in a cholais and an Glasgow and an Davíl sa céhir diog.
It was unreal. It was home games. You can't beat home games. My club in Dumfries put on a bus. They all came up. So you're running around the streets and everyone's screaming for you. I got really short notice that I was doing it. I was only told 7 weeks before that I was in, so I had to go straight from work to the games, from the games straight back to work. So I didn't have the altitude training camps things, so it wasn't too much pressure. It was kind of just like, you're here, you're running. And people said, oh, they've never seen somebody smile the whole way around a marathon. I'm like, this is just so great, I'm loving this. You can't really describe it, you don't really think about it at the time. Because you in marathons, I guess you know people who run for the other countries, so you knew some of the English runners, but we were quite a friendly team, the Scottish team. We all got on well together, we knew each other. The athletes village was amazing. You got to see all these runners that you'd only ever heard of. Like, I helped David Rudisha get in through the gates because he didn't know how to do it. I'm like, oh, he's a world record holder. I was just in awe of everybody else.
Ag toshach fichis sa fichid, lorach Joey hain glasje sias meeltjen je wieltjen fella van nachiaiche, aan in Australia is schaas een coronavirus. E jannen shaw ran je haast de chuis en klaar reis, keer uiden is fichid na halbe, a vriesje with 12 LM2.
So I went out in early March for a holiday. It was for a 3-week holiday. Went up to an area called the Blue Mountains. Didn't watch the news, television, anything like that. Came back to Sydney and my flight home didn't exist because the country had gone into lockdown and Australia shut their borders straight away, couldn't fly in or out. So I was stuck there, had 3 weeks worth of clothes, couldn't work because I was on a tourist visa. My visa ran out, so I ended up staying there for a couple of years. And at first, because I couldn't do anything, my de-stress was I would go out and run. So I went out and ran, and after about 6 months, I was like, do you know what, I'm going to do a race. So entered a race. Because of COVID, there were hardly any people doing it. So you were running around a track. I think there was one other lady in it, and she dropped out part way. There were a few men, a few of them dropped out. It started raining. We had rain for 14 hours. I'm like, oh, this is like Scotland. Finished the race, and then someone told me that I'd broken the Scottish track record and qualified to run for GB in 24 hours. I was like, oh, I don't know what happened there.
Leis an buanchach sin an Australia, thuair Jo an chum rúis an Ardbris rééis céarúir na sgioba Eorpach an Verona I rast an Holtain for an de bhrísiú barach láran.
Yes, I was actually injured 4 or 5 weeks before, so I had 4 weeks of taper, which is very unusual. I don't really like doing nothing. But went out there, didn't know what to expect. The course, I have to say, was horrible. It wasn't what I expected. I thought we were going to run a mile loop because they said it was a road course. It was 1,500 metres with 380-degree turns and 490 degrees. Kept going in the same direction. So I just started, thought, well, we'll see how long my legs hold out. And thought maybe I could get the Scottish road record. So that was in my sights. Went through 100 miles ahead of the Scottish record time. Then with 200k, I was under the Scottish record time by an hour and a bit. So I thought, I'm going to get the Scottish record. And then my crew started saying, you know, you could get the British record. And I didn't know what it was because it had not entered my thoughts at all. And then it turned out at the end I broke it by 900 metres or something.
Surin rúi harastar a bhí cruúig ar a bhóig. Ach a Georgian fiach go bhfuil Jo Zakrzewski ar an dóia sear aine ras ó rééis an mar at seo. Leis go bhfuil cúil eolas aiche na doctor.
So I think I'm slightly different to most runners in that I run and I like eating and drinking. So I will eat and drink all the time through a run. Comrades, I think I describe as an 80k moving buffet. This was the same. A lot of people have gels and drinks, and the crew were looking at me going, you haven't got lots of gels and fancy drinks, because I like proper food. So I was eating cake. I had pieces of chocolate brownie, chocolate, drinking coffee. When I did the track one in Australia, because obviously we were locked down then, I did the whole thing fueled on chocolate chip cookies and banana bread that I'd made. So I think if you eat and drink and fuel yourself all the way through and pace yourself, the recovery is easier because you haven't taken as much out of your body. But the thing I know as a medic is that you have to understand that you might feel like your legs have recovered, but internally you've probably done yourself quite a bit of damage, so you need to take longer to recover than you think you do.
Ha Jo'r rúis an Alba ag imigastar, ais hai gadjachu go bhfuil amnan ar a bhíána steiréisian for an dismúni hína Bruidhinnidh a chrochal suas.
Well, absolutely. I was lying in the road at the end of this race because I'd had to sprint the last sort of 10. Well, when I say sprint, it was probably a slow jog, but it felt like I was sprinting for the last 10 minutes. And when they fired the gun, I just lay down in the road and I had a little cry and I was like, that's it, I'm never running again. I quit. Quit while you're ahead. And then somebody said, oh, do you know, you weren't that far off this record or that, or do you think you could have done better if the course was better? And you always think, well, maybe I could have done. But I've still also always had imposter syndrome. So I always think I don't want to do another one because that'll prove it was a fluke. So I've actually run for Scotland from 10k, 10 miles, half marathon. I've done 50k, 100k, trails, 24 hours. I've done the World Mountain Running Championship. So I think I've got every distance and every surface covered there now, so I can retire happy.
Falla van de buin agus na clarion, had Georgian fiach gan food rúi a bhí na inol cuachgach gang ùire. Gus cuideachach le dói bethe falling a chumal suas.
Yes, I had some problems with fractures. I had something called REDS, relative energy deficiency in sport. I've got osteoporosis, so I was told you can never run again, you need to give up running. And at the time they told me you couldn't do any swimming, couldn't do any cycling, can't do any sport. And I found that really hard because running is my de-stress from work. You just go out, you switch off. And I really missed it when I didn't have that. And I think it helps you in the rest of your life and it helps you get a routine. And it obviously helped me when I was in a new country, helped me make friends, helped me settle in. And I think that's, incomparable. You look at things now like parkrun. So I'll go to parkrun, but I'll volunteer, I'll help out and I'll run, or I'll pace, or I'll just run and chat with friends. And for some people, that's their only social contact in the week. And I just you can't put a price on that.
Wow.
I know.
Stories like Jo's just blow my mind.
Yeah, she is incredible, isn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, she started that running career and just gone and gone and gone with it, and has racked up all these awards, medals, trophies, and that the whole time that she was in Australia as well. I mean, that must have been quite a traumatic experience, but her sport was the thing that kept her rooted and got her through that, and then just, you know, broke a record while she was there too. So yeah, incredibly inspiring. And again, just shows how important sport is beyond the kind of sport itself for all the other well-being benefits that you get. And her real gives her good work-life balance.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's so much that I, and I'm sure you and all the audience can learn from Jo. She's just incredible. But I loved one of the things that she said, that when she was doing one of the marathons, that her friend had said, I think you're the only person or one of the first people I've seen that ran a marathon with a smile on their face.
Yeah, no, she did. You could tell that she just got such enormous happiness, benefit from it, that it gives her, you know, friends, networking opportunities, just to kind of meet new people. She takes part in the park run. One thing she did also say, though, which is probably quite common for a lot of women in sport and in society, is that she suffered from imposter syndrome. So even though she's won all these medals, broke all those records, there's still that element of self-doubt in her that she shouldn't have, but women do have, and that's again why it's so important that we celebrate wonderful people like Jo, Mel before her, and you know, I suppose support other women, support each other to make sure that we don't have that imposter syndrome. She's incredible, and she should know that, and it's good that we're getting a chance to recognise her achievements.
Exactly, and all the records that she's broken too. It's just amazing. And I think we have to take it from a medic that when you're running, you can eat cake.
So I've nailed the cake bit. I can eat the cake. I just need to do the running bit now. Probably that's what I need to practice.
I know, who'd have thought? Honestly, it's fantastic.
No, it's great. It's great, and just the whole park run movement, though, has been incredible too. The fact that so many people can get together, run and feel supported, that's brilliant. And that's that kind of that camaraderie you get through taking part in sport is really important. That's what team sport's about, and you know, that the same benefits coming through in athletics and running as well. And of course, we've got so many wonderful female athletes, runners in Scotland that we can celebrate over the course of this year's Ailish McColgan as well. So lots of people that we can look up to.
Exactly, it's incredible. It's what it's all about. Before we come to the end of the programme this week, you just kind of even mentioned Ailish McColgan and all these amazing Scottish athletes that we've got. If we even just move back into football, I know Scotland weren't at the Euros, we're not going to the World Cup, but it does feel like there's a real momentum with women's football right now. What can we do here in Scotland to build on that?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there has been, and I suppose that's the thing with sport, isn't it? With all the highs that you get, you do sometimes get some disappointments along the way, and it was incredibly disappointing not to meet these big make these big tournaments, and it will be more keenly felt by the women in the national team themselves. However, the Euros, wall-to-wall coverage, huge crowds, record crowds at the women's national team games just recently at Hampden, the fact they're playing at Hampden, the fact that big stadiums are opening their doors now more to women's games, and more people are going along wanting to play. I think there's lots to be positive about, and that's what we need to focus in on. Being positive, continuing that visibility, keeping that support, and encouraging more girls to take part in football.
Absolutely. We will get there, and the strides that people like you and everyone who works in women's sport has been huge. So it was great to have you back this week. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure we'll see you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Well, sin son and noch gan a Ghobhainn be Àrd-Coach na Alba for is seach bliana diac polínichdal colorúm sin studio. Jan Cínteach gyfal se lentin BBC Alba ecals gun calsif program niog gyn gan ysgilchgan a ha sialtain cholacher sa spors na ban in Alba. Hísin sib van ahuris.